monologue. I listened to a lot of interesting stuff yesterday, all attached. It's the whole theme of that week of Life is Tragic and God is Faithful theme has been on my head.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because I have a couple Bible verses that I pulled up for today's thing because someone sent me a link today of Quebec planning to table a bill banning prayer in public.
Quebec?
Yeah.
Tabled a bill like that?
Yeah. And so
any prayer or just Christian prayers?
Okay, so I'll read it. The Quebec government intends to present a bill banning prayer in public. Secularism Minister Jean-Francois Ruitenburg said in a statement Thursday, "This fall, we will therefore introduce a bill to strengthen secularism in Quebec, in particular by banning street prayers. Seeing people praying in the streets and public parks is not something we want in Quebec," Legault said in December, saying he wanted to send a very clear message to Islamists. "When we want to pray, we go to church, we go to a mosque, not in public places. And yes, we will look at the means where we can act legally or otherwise." The statement from Ruitenburg on Thursday provided no details on how the government would legislate against prayer in public. And
encroaching on the freedom of speech there. It's crazy.
Yes. But on the flip side of that, first of all, don't be surprised, like Satan rules the world. John 12:31, at a time of judging the world has come when Satan, the ruler of the world, will be cast out, implying he is ruling the world now. Or Ephesians 2:2, in which following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience, like he's ruling. But then also a piece from Peter, which I thought was pretty encouraging. "The end of the world is coming soon. Therefore, be earnest and disciplined in your prayers. Most important of all, continue to show deep love for each other, for love covers a multitude of sins. Dear friends, don't be surprised at the fiery trials you are going through as if something strange are happening to you. Instead, be very glad, for these trials make you partners with Christ in his suffering, so that you will have the wonderful joy of seeing his glory when it is revealed to all the world." And that's not in order. 1 Peter 4 is actually a great chapter, but just reminds me of what you just said, of just like, hey, it's this world is hard and it is full of suffering, but don't be surprised when trials come, suffering, either persecution or other trials. We're gonna, as Christians, we have so much hope. Like, I have this more and more the last couple of months. We're reading John and seeing more and more like the resurrection is true and real, and Jesus like is really who he says he is, which makes everything else more real, which makes it just like the amount of fear I have is like gone, and just an incredible amounts of hope of just like the future, and because he's won, like we don't have to fear, and the suffering that we have now, he'll help us through.
Yeah, it is tough though. I think because I was driving back from Orville last night, and I left at 11, so stay awake. But I was listening to a podcast, Renewing Your Mind. It's like R.C. Sproul ministry. Right. And there's a fellow on there, I forget his name now, but anyways, he had a 12-part little mini series, and I listened to a bunch of them yesterday. But it's just this idea of like basically all about death, right? And I listened to it partially, because part of that theme brought me to like a friend of mine whose child's really sick and dying, and it's like, well, you have this idea of like, hey, how do you walk alongside people like that? What do you say? You never feel like you can say the right thing. But obviously, if you're a friend and you have no communication, that's not right either. Like that's not what you want to do, right? And so, yeah, how do you? And he talked about very practically, like the whole steps of even preparing for your own death. Practically, like obviously, spiritually is the most important, but even just like, hey, don't be a loser. Like don't leave your personal, worldly affairs, as he called them, in a complete mess. Like that's just not kind to your family, right? And so, anyways, I'd highly recommend for people that it's a Reformed guy that does the talk. I mean, kind of drove me crazy because they always feel like they have they make a point of like saying make sure it's Reformed. It's like, I feel like some Reformed things need some reformation now, but that's just my take. But like the idea of like just sound theological pieces, right? To give to just encouraging word to people and not to say the wrong thing. And
so interesting. We actually, on that note, got a question about that. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.